Hello and welcome to the next tutorial. Today we're going to be making one of these. That's right. It's crazy. And I wish I could take credit for it, but I did not come up with this design. There's a YouTuber by the name of Annie. Let me just show you what he looks like here or in his video. He shows you how to go through this, and there's going to be a link in my description, and hopefully I can find a way to put a link on the video. Never done that before, but I'll try. Anyways, this person made the video. I showed it to my students because my students have been using Tinkercad for a year, some even more, but some of them had trouble following the video just because he doesn't lay it out like, says do this, do that. And my students apparently need that. Now, I saw his video. I loved it. I understood the idea. I did it. No problem. But then again, I'm a little more fluent in Tinkercad, if you will. So I decided to make a video for my students. But again, not my design. Props to that guy or girl. I don't know who it is. And let's show you what we're doing here. So we're going to start off with a text. Go here, drag it. We're going to change this to sans. And what you're going to need are two words that have the same exact amount of letters. For me, I'm going to use my name. And another thing, you're going to want capital letters. Okay, so there's that one. I'm going to duplicate that, Control D to duplicate it. And then Amparo, A-M-P-A-R-O. Now, right away, you'll notice there is a big difference here, right? Because the top one, even though they have the same amount of letters, is not as wide. So that's 96.2. I'm going to just change this to 96.2. It won't line up perfectly, but it's just going to be a little bit better. All right, so that's step one. Both of these are now going to be a whole. There they are. All right, mind you, I did not group them. They're still separate. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to be making blocks. So, well, just be dragging these things over here. Now, the shapes, please pay attention. For this one, we're going to make it 100. And the back here is going to be 30. And we're going to make this 10 to make them the same height as the letters. Okay, I'm going to select these two. I'm going to click the letter L to align. And they're going to be aligned here and here. Now, very important part. You see this part right here? Let's zoom in here. This letter O is barely touching this outside edge. Let me click here. We don't want that. We want all the letters to be touching this edge so that you can see them. Why? If they are not touching, these letters will fall off the plate over here. They'll just fall off. So they need to be, well, let me show you what it should look like. Now, if you have a curved letter, like I do in both of these, the letter D and the letter O, they're going to be sticking out a little bit more than the rest, but that's okay. It's acceptable. Excuse me. So instead of, touching the letters and trying to move them down, I'm just going to touch the block. It's so much easier. And then change my snap grid to off because I want the slightest movement. Now I'm going to move it up with the arrow key so I can get just a little bit of movement. And it looks like I selected both of them. Yeah, that was a waste of time. Let's keep on going. I selected the red one now, and he said, oh, there it is. You see that? That's what I'm looking for, right there. You just want it to be at the very edge. If you do too much, it's going to leave your plate a little bit with lines over here that you don't want. All right, so now that we have this and it's aligned, I'm going to duplicate the red part and move it over here. Let me just drag it over here. Again, I'm going to align. I'm going to select both of them. Click the letter L, and there it is aligned here and here. Now this one, you can see they are actually touching each other. And then, let's see, nope, they were good. So now I'm going to group, Control G. Same thing here, Control G. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate each one of these 90 degrees. So I'm going to go on the side and 90. I'm going to click the letter D so that it's standing up. Same thing here. I'm going to rotate 90 and then letter D. Now, each one of these is now going to be 100 degrees or 100 millimeters. My mistake. So it's a block, right? There it is. And then over here, 100. There that is. All right, so let me drag this over here. Let me drag this one out of the way. At this point, let's just make them both transparent, or a whole, sorry, a whole, because transparency is something different. And what we want to do with both of them, I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to move them up 3 millimeters. I'm going to just click here, enter, 3 millimeters. Now I'm going to separate them. And yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Now we're going to rotate them 90 degrees. Now I'm not going to go towards, I'm going to go away from the center, 45 degrees, not 90, not 90. Again, away from the center, 45. They're not perfectly aligned at this point. It doesn't really matter, okay, because we're going to fix that later. Now we're going to bring another cube over here, and it's going to be 60. These numbers don't really matter, and this is 160, and this is going to be 30. They don't matter as much because you can change the outside as, you know, later on. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to align all three of these. So I'm going to group those three and click the letter L. It's going to align here and there. Now, let me make sure everything's good over here. Now our name is my name's going to appear right in the center, but it's going to have all this extra stuff. So let's just show you. I'm going to group, Control G. At this point, we've got it, but it's just hard to see, right? It's just hard to see. So this is what we do. Now, the shape or the dimensions for this cube are not really that important. You just wanted to make sure that it can cover like this one here and the top. So now whatever shape you chose, just make sure it's big enough that it'll cover this. But very important, very important, is that you raise it up 3 degrees. So, or 3 millimeters. Ah, my goodness. Now we're going to rotate this 45. There it is, 45. Now this is where you have to be very careful, because if you're not, you're going to erase part of the thing we're trying to make. So here, good there. All right. Now I'm going to duplicate this one, Control D, and then I'm just going to hit and hold the shift button over here. Now it's not going to be perfect, but I'm always going to be checking, because I don't want to like cut any of these letters. There you go. You see how I'm always looking right here at the shade. All right. You think I'm done, but I'm not. I'm going to duplicate both of these, Control D, and they're over here. Of course they are. Okay, so let's rotate this and take a look. How are my letters? Hey, that's not bad. That one worked. And over here, oh, that one is not. I'm just going to click away and then drag this right there. Okay, so that's good. Before I group all of this, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select that one, Control D, and then just move it right there, because I'm going to need that later. So I'm just going to group this, and I don't want to do it over and over again. I don't want to recreate this cube. Since it's already raised and it's already at 45, then it's perfect. Ah, see right there, a mistake. So let's undo that. And what did I miss? What did I miss? Oh, right there. So I'm going to just move that over there. And did that take care of it? It did. Okay. So now I'm going to select all of them this time, except for this one. I don't want that one. Okay. And Control G. Okay. Now, mind you, I already have this one over here with all these empty boxes. So it's going to make Tinkercad a little slower on my computer than in yours. Yours should be fine. All right. So now we have, oh, look, it did that. I hate when it does that. But no worries. That just meant I went too far when I was aligning the bottom of the cube, the block and the letters, too far by a little bit. It's okay. Let's move on. So my name, here's the A, here's the N. So all these that are in the middle are going to be the thing that makes the name. So I need to get rid of anything that is not my name. And I have to do this little by little. Okay, so again, I'm looking here, and then I'm going to look over here, and it looks like I'm good, but I just want to make sure that's covered there. All right, that's good. Now before I group this, I'm going to hit Control D, and I'm just going to move it over here, and I'm going to group these right here, Control G. Now, the next thing I want to do is, now essentially this is all I'm doing for this next part. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of letters, but very important, I get rid of the right ones. I want to make sure that my name is correct. So it should be here, then here. So I want this to stay, but I want this to go. And because this is an I, not a lie, it's going to be right there. Okay, so you have to pay attention to make sure you're getting rid. You see, I'm looking at the shadow right there. You see, right there. Just to make sure I'm getting rid of only the parts I don't want. Yeah, that's pretty good. Before I group, I'm just going to duplicate again over here and group over there, Control G. And while that's working right there, I'm going to see how close I can get. All right, so I have A, M, and over here it's P. Now over here, I believe I'm going to get rid of this one. Right, and then I'm looking right here. Okay, and then I'm looking over here. Oh, that one worked out. Before I group, duplicate, move it out of the way, group again, Control G. Now this one, let's see, gets rid of that one. That means this one's probably going to go right around there. Let me make sure while this one, you know, is catching up to what we're doing. That's good. You see, I'm looking right there. And then this one, oh, that one worked out too. Look at that. Before I group that one, I'm going to work on the next one because apparently it's still thinking, still processing. Okay, so let's just, okay, so again, looking right here. Ooh, that one's really close to the letter R. Okay. Now these three are just those two actually. I'm going to duplicate those and I'm going to drag them over here because I know I'm going to need them, right? There's no point in waiting. All right, while I'm waiting for Tinkercad to catch up, I'm going to try to align, separate them. I'm going to try to get this one here. Ooh, so close. Right there. And right there. Now I'm going to get rid of that one. Now, of course, at this point, you're probably not watching my video anymore because you're working on yours, which is fine. But don't forget to subscribe and like and do all that crazy stuff. Why not? So I'm going to duplicate this one here and then move it right there. Now let's check it. Whoa, really close. And let's look over here. Yep, that looks good too. Now Control D. All right, so that's good there. And that is too close for my comfort. And Control D. Okay, so I was looking at the bottom of the letter right here. And, oh, a lot of space. Right there. And how did it, oh, right there. Oh, so close. All right, so it looks like that one never grouped. I wonder what's going on here. So I'm going to try this again. And, oh, that one's there. Okay. So I'm going to try to group this. Let's see what happens. I'm probably going to break Tinkercad and I'm going to get sued. And you'll see me out in the streets begging for money or saying, I will work for Tinkercad Designs. So when you're done with this, and you're looking at it and it makes sense, everything's good, great. Now, if yours turns out like this, right here, you see that right there? If it turns out like that, that's because Adrian, all right, that's because when you did this, just like I did, and you got the block, and let's just put Adrian here, cap lock Adrian. And you guys remember the dimensions? 100. And let's see if I remember it. 30. Was it 30? Oh, and this one was 10. Yeah. Okay. So here is the issue. Okay, so let's align these two. Control L. I'm sorry, just L. And here. Okay, so I moved it some more. And apparently that was enough to make that. So my bad. You just need it enough so that it is aligned. Now, even here, I'm not sure if you guys can see this. You should not be able to see any kind of indentation coming out of this. And I see a little bit of it. I'm not sure if you guys can. So what I would do, if I were to do this again, I would move this. Wow, that's a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to see what happens when I group it. Ah, see, it does that. I don't want that. So this is the best I can do. I may have moved it from before. All right, cool. So let me just get rid of that. And oh, it looks like Tinkercad is waiting for me to catch up to it now. Now, when you're done with this, what you want to do, besides, fix this part, just check it out. Did it make sense? Yep, here, here, here. Now, this is something you're going to need to add supports. And if you want to, this is what I did with mine because it was kind of big. Oh, you see that green right there? It means it didn't go all the way down. So let me click the letter D. It went all the way down. And I minimized that part right there. Made it a little more narrow. And essentially that's it. Again, like I said, you need to add supports, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, shout out to Annie. Did a great job, and I'm very impressed. Check out all his work. Subscribe and like to that guy's YouTube page. Again, don't know the gender. My bad. Anyways, enjoy. Have a great day.